What is up, everyone? We are here on the All Sports Talk podcast for episode 6. And by the time you'll be seeing this, I think it'll be the weekend or Friday or Thursday. Not sure, but we're recording this on Thursday. And as we said in our announcement, we're going to have a special guest today. And I don't know, we want to take it from here?
Yeah, our special guest is Dan Shulman, announcer for the Toronto Blue Jays.
He also works on ESPN for college hoops. You can follow him on Instagram. Really great stuff. Really just an amazing guy, and he's really great calling Blue Jay games.
And we are thankful to have him.
We're very, very excited to have him here. Opportunity. We're going to be doing a Q&A type thing here with him, so I can't wait for it. So we're going to get into it here. It's going to be amazing. This is going to be a shorter one, probably 15 minutes. We don't really want to add another topic after Dan, but I am so excited here, and we are pleased to be joined with Mr. Shulman. So, yeah. So here is Dan Shulman. So we are ready to start off here. Ruben, want to go with the first question?
Yeah. How much do you think Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s weight loss has contributed to his new and improved playing style on both offense and at first base?
Yeah, I think it's been really important. I mean, 40 pounds or whatever it is, 45 pounds, that's a lot of weight. And I think we're starting to see him become the player that we had all hoped he would be. So I think it's terrific that he's been able to do this. And I think there's probably even room for another level for him in terms of conditioning and, his body, his physique that he can work on next winter going into the next season. But I think it's been really important. He is doing some things he couldn't do before, going first to third on a single, scoring on a shallow fly ball, doing the splits at first base. And we see what he's doing at the plate. That's obvious too. So I think it's been really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. You can kind of tell the transformation. So our second one here is, despite having a decent start, how much do you think injuries will affect the pitching core as the season goes on? With guys like Kirby Yates being out for the year and Julian Merriweather out on the IL and an injury from Nate Pearson.
Yeah, it's a good question. The pitching has been great. I mean, they lead the American League in ERA right now, and who would have thought that, even if everybody had been healthy? But they need to get some guys back. I think Ryu's going to be very good. Matz looks like he's going to be very good. And I think they've got some really good arms in the bullpen. Baraki is good, and Meza is good, and Phelps is good, and Dolis is sometimes good and sometimes not as good. But they need some guys back. The good news, we're speaking on Thursday. The good news is it sounds like over the weekend that Tyler Chatwood and Jordan Romano will come back. Nate Pearson's a big one. You mentioned him, Justin, and he is a big key. And hopefully he's back 3 weeks, maybe, if all goes well. And then he can become a big part of the staff. If they're healthy enough, I think they've got a chance to have a good pitching staff, but they need some of these guys back. It's asking a lot for the guys that they have right now to keep doing what they're doing as a group.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a similar bullpen as last year as well.
Yeah.
Say that again, Ruben, sorry?
It's a similar bullpen as last year.
Yeah, some familiar faces. Yep. Dolis and Baraki, Meza from 2 years ago. I've been impressed. A couple of the guys who nobody had ever heard of before the year, Joel Piamps and Anthony Castro, they've both done well. So David Phelps coming back to the Blue Jays, that's really helped. But getting Jordan Romano back would be really, really big. Everybody knows how good he is. And hopefully Merriweather comes back at some point. He's been hurt so much, it's hard to say. But hopefully if Merriweather's back at some point too, then they've got the makings of a good pen.
Yeah, because I feel like their pitching core, like with all of them healthy, I feel like it just becomes that much better. And that would be a really big reason why they would get far in the playoffs or even into the playoffs. And maybe
I think so. Coming into the year, I think most of us thought the offense would be really good and hopefully the pitching would be good enough. And right now the pitching's been better than the offense. So the offense is going to get better. Springer's coming back. Teoscar's coming back. And guys like Gurriel and Rowdy Tellez and Biggio, I think they're going to hit a little bit more. So they're going to be a good offensive team. To me, the key is pitching. And again, if Pearson, Romano, hopefully Merriweather, maybe we even see Alek Manoah at the end of the year, a minor leaguer, a former first-round pick who was great in the spring. Maybe we see him later on in the season. They've got a lot of depth, and that's important in this kind of a season.
Yeah, I feel like because we're waiting so long for Springer to come back, I feel like that's going to add another element to the offense that will definitely make it a lot better. Because at the beginning of the season, personally myself, I thought there were going to be a lot of games, Blue Jays like 7-6 and
Yeah,
six
me
to
too.
four.
Yeah.
But they're turning out to be a lot lower scoring, and the pitching is turning out to be a lot better than was
Yeah,
expected.
but we'll have some high scoring games. There's no question. I mean, offense is down around baseball, but we'll have some high scoring games. And I think George Springer, assuming he can stay healthy, he'll really provide a spark at the top of the lineup. He'll hit leadoff. He can get on base. He's got power. He's an all-star caliber player. So you put him 1, Bo Bichette 2, Vladdy 3. If Teoscar, once he gets going again, if he hits 4th, and then 5th could be Rowdy Tellez or Randall Grichuk or Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Like all of a sudden, you got a really deep lineup with those guys back. So good. I think good things are coming.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
listen, I hope you're right.
yeah. Number 3, do you think if Bo Bichette becomes less aggressive at the plate and swings at less pitches outside the zone, he'll take his game to the next level? Or does something like making less errors in the field play a bigger part to upping his game?
So 2 separate questions, really. So Bo is very aggressive, as you say, but that's kind of who he's always been. I think if you take away some of that aggressiveness, you lose a little bit of what is Bo. I think if he could scale it back just a little bit, it could really help him because he does swing at pitches out of the zone more than most hitters. He's actually not doing it as much this year as he did last year. And the interesting thing about him is, he came up as a rookie in 2019. He hit well in 2019. He hit well in 2020 before he got hurt, and he's hitting well now. Like he's never really struggled for more than a few days at a time. So he's already a very good offensive player. If it's possible that he could become a little less aggressive, maybe it takes him to another level, but I think it's really a fine line. Defense is another thing. Right now, he's okay at shortstop. He's doing okay. He's working very hard to do better. And I know he wants to stay at shortstop. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Part of me thinks it will. Part of me thinks that by next year, he might be the Blue Jays second baseman. So I've noticed, I think, a couple of times where he's had an at-bat that didn't go his way, and he looked like he was kind of still thinking about that in the field, or he made an error in the field, and then he looked like he was kind of thinking about that at the plate. He looked a little frustrated. You got to be able to separate those two. I know they're going to give him a chance to do the best he can at shortstop and give him a chance to stay there. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. But even if they move him off short, he's going to be, say they move him to second base, he's going to be an all-star caliber second baseman. He's that good of a player. And I think his future is extremely bright.
Yeah, I mean, his potential, like he could become one of the best players in the league. Like, I think even at shortstop and second base. So I also have a little bit of a bonus question. We didn't really add this in, but with a healthy Springer, in like a healthy batting order for the Blue Jays, where do you think Richard Semien fits in?
Marcus Semien probably fits in, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. Like we were talking about, if Teoscar is 4, the way Randall Grichuk's sitting right now, he could be 5. Rowdy Tellez could be up there. Sometimes they'll be in a situation where they got too many guys and somebody's got to sit. But I could see Marcus Semien hitting anywhere from 6 to 8, really, once Springer gets back. To me, Springer, Bo, Vladdy, Teoscar, that's a fairly obvious 1, 2, 3, 4. And then after that, you kind of base it on who's hot and who's not. If Gurriel gets hot, he moves up. If he's not, he moves down. So whatever the lineup is, it's going to change day after day after day. So I don't fixate too much on, what'll happen next week or the week after that, because it's always changing. But I would see Semien, maybe down around the 7th spot in the order for the most part.
Yeah, no, I think it's very good to have a guy like him at like that low at 7. Like it shows they have decent depth on the team.
Yep, and hopefully, he's hitting for power, but he's not hitting for much of an average. Hopefully that improves over the next little while, and he won't have as much pressure on him hitting down in the order as he does hitting leadoff.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. Springer will take pressure off a lot of guys in the lineup, because he just he's that good that he's expecting to be like the main piece of the offense.
Absolutely, there's no question about it. He's played in the playoffs. He's won a World Series. He's been great in the playoffs. He doesn't feel pressure, I don't think. And hopefully within 4 or 5 days, he's back in there leading off and hitting bombs.
Yeah, should definitely help the young guns.
You can go for Justin.
Alrighty. What do you think the Jays have to do next in order to take the AL East and potentially go far in the playoffs?
I think they have to stay healthy. And I think they have to get Nate Pearson back and really round out the pitching staff. And I think their defense has to be better than it's been. I think if they do those things, they've got a chance. I think it's going to be a very interesting division. I thought the Yankees were the best team coming in, but they haven't played very well at all. They're in last right now. And I don't know that anybody thought the Red Sox would be whatever they are, 12-7 on the season. So, the Yankees might not be as good as we thought. The Red Sox might be better than we thought. And you put those two teams with the Blue Jays and the Rays, no disrespect to Baltimore, but it could be a really, really fun 4-team race between everybody else in the American League East, maybe where nobody's great, but everybody's good enough to contend for a playoff spot. So I think the Jays will be in there, but they've got to be healthy, reasonably healthy, and they've got to do some things right. Their pitching has to be good enough. Their defense has to be good enough. But they're going to be in the conversation. I'd be surprised if they weren't at least playing meaningful baseball in September.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at that point, would the Blue Jays bring up like Alek Manoah or Simeon Woods Richardson, or would they be next?
It's possible. It's a hard question to answer because the minor leagues haven't even started. And so these guys haven't pitched in real games since 2019. But I think once the minor leagues start and we see how they're doing, if they do well, and if the Blue Jays have a need, then I think that they will. Listen, they brought Alejandro Kirk up from the alternate site last year. Kirk had never played above A ball. Now Manoah's never played above A ball either, but he's a little bit older. He's 23, I think. He's a college kid, not a high school kid. So, and he was so good in spring training that I think, say they send him to Double-A and he's great, I think there's a chance we see him. I think there's a better chance we see Manoah than Woods Richardson this year. He's a little bit older, although Woods Richardson has actually pitched at a higher level than Manoah has. Manoah is about 3 years older than Woods Richardson, but a lot of it depends on how they do. If they go to Double-A and they're struggling, they're not coming up to the big leagues. But if they go to Double-A and they're doing well, I think there's a chance.
No, yeah, I think it also really depends on like the injuries in the pitching core. Like if they have a lot of injuries, then they're going to need it.
Yeah, exactly. So, the answer is always, it depends. It depends on how they're doing. It depends if the Blue Jays are in the race. It depends what kind of needs they have on the pitching staff in the major leagues. But if you told me Manoah is going to be up later in the season, that wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, same here. I think that was our last one. Dan, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Shulman, one of the best in the business. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, thank you to do it for some fellow Bialicans. I know the school has changed a lot since I was there, but I was there last year. A few things still look the same as when I was there, downstairs mostly, but most of it has changed. The supermarket's gone. The school's much bigger than it used to be, but hope you guys are doing well and managing okay. And I was happy to join you today.
Thank you. You too. Thank you very much. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys definitely enjoyed that one. I know that we enjoyed. That was a great discussion. We had Ruben. I'm pretty sure you're going to agree with me here. Great discussion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like a lot of anticipation built up.
Dan Shulman for you.
Yeah, I mean, how much better do you get than that? What a great insider. He really helps big perspective because as he's close to the team, he's announcing them. So definitely great knowledge. Helps us learn a lot as well. We're not going to have another part. We'll probably upload in the next couple of days. We'll have one soon. We have another guest coming up. My only hint is it's a Chiefs fan, so it's definitely going to be interesting with 3 different perspectives.
Especially because their team happens to be better than both of our teams.
Yeah, I think that will definitely help. So thank you everyone for listening. Please consider liking, please consider subscribing, and we'll be uploading pretty frequently, I think. And hopefully we'll have many guests just like Dan Shulman.
And that was episode 6 with Dan Shulman for you guys.
On to the second hand now. Alrighty, Thank you for listening and peace out.